Allow your intuition to guide you. Because us women, we have this amazing ability to truly tap into our intuition, our body, and it allows us to just know. Just know when things are good, know when things are not, know like, is this guy, like, what's up with this? Ooh, no, my body does not feel warm and fuzzy with him. No. So that is truly being able to tap into our intuition, our body. Our body just knows. But what's happening? Let me finish it here. When you learn to trust your body, your intuition, when you feel into it, rather than always relying on your logical mind, on our mind. Okay? And I've talked to you guys about this before, and we're not going to get into too much of, our past patterns and our limiting beliefs, because that actually plays a role in us also tapping into our feminine energy. Okay? And I'm going to talk about that too. But when we think about feminine energy and we think about, like I just said, masculine energy, I mean, again, they cannot be more polar opposite. Polar opposite. Both of the energies are amazing. Seriously, we need both of the energies and we can possess both of the energies. But what's happening now is, and it's, again, I always say this too, there's no fault to ourselves. But what's happening now, let me just tell you what I said, is that us women have been like truly blocked from tapping into that feminine energy. And why have we been blocked? And this is what I wrote down. Because the modern women of today, okay, this is just what it is. This is all of us. Hi, me too. But the modern women of today, one of the things that is blocking us the most, like truly one of the things that's blocking us the most, which I wrote down, I didn't want to forget this, is overthinking. Just overthinking, and being in our head. Okay? Overthinking, and being in our head. And being in our masculine. Right? So when we're overthinking and we're being in our head and we're being in our masculine, we don't allow ourselves to really tap into our natural, this is wonderful what I said, our natural senses, those natural mechanisms that are built in our bodies. Yeah. And let me say that again. So because of, the modern woman and how society and how things have changed, right? Things have really changed. It's not really allowing us to step into this, our natural ability, our natural essence, our intuition. Because when you're all thinking, let me just tell you this down too. You cannot think yourself into being feminine. You can't just think yourself into being feminine, okay? You cannot think yourself in being feminine, and you cannot think yourself into a relationship. You can't just think yourself into a relationship. You need to embody it. It's all about how you feel. So when you hear me talk about how women want to feel. So it's one of the questions, and I'll ask you that a little later on. It's a question I ask all the time. It's one of the questions I talk about if we're talking about, really what it is to be in our feminine essence, and how we can, like I said, get out of our thinking mind, our thinking, logical thinking mind, and tap into that natural. It's our natural ability. It's really what makes women. I mean, seriously, it's one of the coolest things that, to really love being a woman and to be able to possess that quality, which is our natural mechanism, our natural ability. Okay. So how about this? So when we think about feminine embodiment, we need to start telling ourselves stories. Right? So there's all these stories out there, and a lot of the stories are, and what's happening with the stories, is that we all have certain stories that we tell ourselves. We just have certain stories. And when we're thinking all these stories and we're thinking, it really just keeps you stuck. It does. It keeps you stuck because you basically are allowing what I call, we all have these, I call it, let me just tell you what I call it actually. I call it these, those thoughts, those disempowering thoughts we all have. What I call it is the itty bitty shitty committee. Yep, the itty bitty shitty committee, just always talking to us, telling us all the things, no, you're never going to find a man. No, all the men are jerks. All the men are bad. Oh no, you remember what we used to hear back in the day. Oh gosh, girl, men just lie. And then you sit there and you're sitting with your girlfriends and then they're talking bad about men's. And so what happens is all that starts playing a part in like what we believe. And what we believe and what we really believe is true, it's not necessarily true. It's that little itty bitty shitty committee. That one is like, you'll never make it. You'll never find a man because, that was the first time, last time, that noise. Okay. That noise. And so what we do is we have to be able to learn how to take those layers off, because that noise has a lot to do with a lot of stuff us women are still carrying on to. No fault to ourselves. A lot of the stuff we don't even know. But there's a lot of stuff that we just carry on to. And we keep it as true, as completely true. And when you are up and you're thinking and you're carrying on to things and you're believing that it is true, then that is going to continue on keeping you in what I call the hamster wheel. The hamster wheel. It's like you go out there, right? You're like, what is up? You feel like you're doing like all the external stuff, right? You're like, okay, what's going on? I want a guy who is this and who's that and all this kind of stuff. And then you go out and you feel like you're doing all the external stuff, but then you keep finding like not these great guys. And then I keep saying they're everywhere. There's all these great guys everywhere. And you're like, what's up? Well, we got to start with also how you're showing up. How you're showing up, because it's energy, right? So feminine essence, all of that, it's energy. It's the energy that we bring to. So we start by asking yourself, how are you showing up?